I'm Mainayar with Pure Designs. Today we're at Falkner Winery in beautiful Temecula Wine Country. It's an honor to be sitting down with Ray Falkner, the owner of Falkner Winery, to talk about his journey, his wines, the Pinnacle Restaurant, and the Falkner Wine Club. Ray, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today.
My pleasure.
What first inspired you to create Falkner Winery?
Well, let me keep the story very short. I've been involved in, from the consumption side, dealing with wine ever since I was pretty young. Had a chance to be able to visit multiple wine countries throughout Europe, throughout the United States, and at some point in time said, wouldn't it be really a lot of fun? Wouldn't it be really something exciting to get into the wine business? And my lovely wife was in agreement, and so we decided we wanted to purchase an existing winery somewhere in California. But I'd been to Temecula a couple of times previously, and I said, you know, there's this region in Southern California that's still very young, very new, and I think it would be a lot of fun because I think there at least we could have some impact on where the whole appellation goes. Whereas opposed to if we were in Napa or Sonoma, we'd be, you know, sort of the small fish in the big pond, right?
Wow.
So we said this would be a much better choice, but I always loved the concept of the wine business, and therefore we made the decision to get into it.
So how has Falkner Winery evolved over the years while staying true to your original vision?
Well, that's every business to succeed has to keep changing and evolving itself over time.
True.
When we started the winery, it was very small. It basically just did some wine tasting, produced about a half dozen wines. We expanded the wine selection. We professionalized the wine making process. We took everything into the avenue of offering gifts and eventually offering events. We then expanded in 2006 to establish the restaurant. So we became in the restaurant business and another venue for various events. So the business has expanded, well, actually more than tenfold since the day we bought it.
What do you think guests feel the moment they arrive at Falkner, and what truly sets it apart?
I think there's a few things that I think really set us apart, but hospitality is first and foremost. I think the friendliness of the staff, the beauty of our hilltop setting are things that, geez, our guests just tend to love. They love it quite a bit. Now, once they have a chance to actually taste our wines, then they recognize, boy, you're a step above everybody else that's in the valley. And that has been our goal from the very start. Wow. Not just to produce wine, but to produce top quality wine in this young region.
And I heard that the sunsets are gorgeous here too.
Sunsets are gorgeous. It's beautiful, and having this 4,500 foot hilltop perspective on things is great for both the general taster that comes in, the individual looking to dine, as well as any of the events that we conduct here.
Wonderful. So how would you describe your winemaking philosophy today?
I think that the philosophy is keep everything very original, very basic. We don't do any kind of alteration of the wines. It is to show off the region itself, which is the Temecula appellation. We do everything to try to keep the wines to be very distinctive and very much in tone with what this valley can produce and produce well. And therefore, once we know what we want to produce, the goal is to make it the highest quality conceivably possible.
Are there any wines or achievements you're especially proud of?
Wow, there's quite a few that I feel very good about. We have, as an example, we have our Amante, which has won.
This is the one we're drinking right now?
Yes, this is the one here. This is a super Tuscan style wine. It is a beautiful wine to go with almost any kind of red meat, but there's no question with Italian food, it's absolutely spectacular. Sangiovese-based wine. And the reason I really like the distinction here is we were the first winery in the valley to really emphasize Sangiovese-based wines. And the key here in moving to the Amante was to have something that was more than just Sangiovese. It would be like it is a super Tuscan blend. Sangiovese blended with Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, and Cabernet Franc really adds to the complexity and makes for a spectacular wine. We've been awarded every year since 2010 with 90-point ratings from Wine Enthusiast for this particular wine.
Amante is really, really one of the best wines in Temecula, I should say. Our next question is about the Pinnacle Restaurant. I think the Pinnacle Restaurant built its own identity here already. So how does the Pinnacle Restaurant complement your wines and the overall Falkner experience?
I think the key aspect there is in making the wine, and this gets a little back to your previous question, we try to make our wines as food friendly as possible.
Right.
Well, the best way to exemplify that is to have it with food. So the restaurant, every single menu item has on it a list of recommended wines. And if there's something that the chef prepares and wants on the menu, first and foremost, I spend time to understand what wine is going to go well with it. If it turns out none of our wines go well with that dish, it doesn't make it on the menu, all right? The goal is to be able to highlight the wine and highlight the food. So it's that complement that is sort of the synergy that makes the end result better than the ingredients that go into it.
Right. So basically you were talking about the wine pairing with the food. So
correct.
How important is food and wine pairing to the experience you want guests to have at Falkner? How important is it? I
think it's very important, even though we recognize that a lot of the visitors that we have don't have time to dine with us, and they're here strictly to be able to do some wine tasting and all. But those that can spend the time, we'd love to have them come in the restaurant, dine with us, and be able to really understand the full impact of the beautiful views, together with the great service, together with wonderful wines, paired with great food. That to me is the top experience you can have.
Wonderful. How would you describe the style of the cuisine that is here at Pinnacle?
Yeah, I would say most of the cuisine is I would call it sort of Mediterranean style American. We try to have all the food very healthy. We try to avoid anything that has been determined to be somewhat or even short-term or long-term harmful to your body. So we're very health conscious in terms of all the cuisine that's out there. Mediterranean style gives us the opportunity to emphasize seafoods, emphasize in some cases smaller meat portions, but complemented with all kinds of fruits, vegetables, and nuts. All right, and that I think lends to not only very delicious and savory dishes, but also things that are very, very healthy for people.
With some French names sometimes.
Sometimes, you know, once again, Mediterranean implies Italian, French, Spanish, and therefore we try to hold true for that as much as possible. The American part is, yes, we do have cheeseburgers. Oh, yes. We've won awards on our cheeseburgers.
I saw the awards for the burger. So can you please tell us a little bit about the benefits of the Falkner Wine Club?
Yeah, our wine club is great. Not only do we offer various different clubs that one can become involved with, but also there's variances within it. So in any one of the clubs, you can say, I want only white wines, only red wines, or some mix of white and red wines. So the flexibility, I think, is very key. There's great discounts. Obviously, the more wine you commit to on a frequency basis, the larger the discounts that you receive. But I think one of the key things is we're still the only winery, not only in the Valley, but one of the few in California that has a reward point program. So people receive points much like they would with airline frequent flyers,
Right.
and they're able to redeem them for free wine and free lunches in the Pinnacle restaurant. I think the combination of great wines, flexibility in the program, discounts that you receive, and the fact that you earn points and are able to redeem them for additional wine and food, unsurpassed.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. So that brings me to my next question. Can you explain how the loyalty points work for wine club members and how they add value to the membership?
Yeah, I would say the earning them is straightforward. You get 1 point for every dollar spent, both in the wine side, meaning for purchases of wine, as well as in the restaurant purchases of food. We've even expanded it to purchases of gifts. Now, how do you redeem them? Like any kind of frequent program, loyalty program, you reach certain threshold levels.
Correct.
And the more points you accumulate, the larger the awards, all right? Now, we don't have an airline, so we can't fly you to some great European location, but we have great food and the ability to get lunch for two, lunch for four, $250 in free wine. I mean, all those are really exceptional benefits.
Those are all pluses. For someone who hasn't visited yet, what would you invite them to experience at Falkner Winery?
I would say number one, it's always great to start with our tasting room and be able to understand a little bit about our wines. So if you've never been to the winery previously, I would start with our beautiful tasting room, beautiful patio that overlooks the hills and all the vineyards that are below. I think that setting is not only beautiful, but it's just very relaxing, where people have a chance to sit back, sip their wine, learn a little bit about what the Valley has to offer. So that would be first and foremost. Now, if they have enough time, definitely hit the restaurant.
Ray, thank you very much for sharing your story with us.
No,
we
you're welcome.
truly appreciate your time.
You're welcome. Thank you.